So my job was just push it through, So your job is to gain weight, to build muscle, and bring the package on stage and show not just people the improvements.
Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding, episode 154, brought to you by Mutant. We really appreciate Mutant coming on. Remember, discount codes for North America, Dusty20 and Big Ron 20. We won't be offended if you dislike one of us and use the other code. Without further ado, like, share, subscribe, comment.
Ring the bell.
Here's Dennis, the Big Bad Wolf. Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding, episode 154. Our producer, Scott McNally, my co-host, Dusty Hanshaw, myself, Big Ron Partlow. And today on the show, we're bringing in a guest, and we only go big with guests. We don't waste your time. We have Dennis Wolf, Hall of Fame, IFBB, one of the greatest physiques to ever grace the Olympia stage, Arnold Classic champion. I could go on and on and on. What else do I say about you, Dennis?
I'm honored, Ron. Thank you for having me at the show, and thank you guys. Nice seeing you all, and you look all great, motivated, and healthy. That's all it counts right now, I guess. We're all getting older, and it's not fun. If you get, all the news in the last couple of years, it's so crazy. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for having me at the show, and glad to be here.
Yeah, Dennis, you were one of the most impactful physiques on me. I finished competing in 2015. So, those last several years, the last 10 years I was competing, you were one of the guys that was on the scene and kicking ass and doing the Olympia and, won the Arnold and all that. And as someone who was just over 6 feet tall, there weren't a lot of guys on the scene that had pulled that off. And I think you possibly maybe pulled it off better than anybody else ever with the physique you put on your frame. Who else do you consider to be in your league when you're talking about 6-footers?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the compliments. And I think back in the days in my time, Tony Freeman was, another how do you call it? They called him what? X-Man? Yeah.
Exactly. X-Man.
So, and he put me in trouble in 2008 at the Olympia, and I was worried he was gonna beat me badly, like on stage. And I ended up beating him and finishing fourth, and he was fifth. But man, he looked incredible that year. Also, another guy, you can remember probably Quincy Taylor, but he didn't make that far, unfortunately, but he was taller than, me and Tony. So, Tony was unbelievably good structured and nice, flow physique and all of that, and this is very rare if you are 6 foot or taller. So, until today, I get so many compliments, and then, from the taller guys, like you said, I did a lot of huge impact on the taller guys back in the days, because, we all know it's hard to kind of fill out the frame if you're tall. Shorter guys have it, easier, what we think, the taller guys, because it goes quicker and they always look round, and the taller guys getting flat very, very fast and all of that. It's just, a lot more work to do, I guess,
What did you, how tall are you? You're 6 foot, right? Was that your official height?
Yeah. Yes. 6 foot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I also remember Gunter was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
There weren't.
Gunter was my when I was going into the community, bodybuilding community, start training, start competing. Günther was, one of the best Germans back then, him and Marcus Rule, but they were still competing. And as soon as I came, into the pro league, I just competed once with Günther, but many times with Marcus Rule. So Günther was from almost the same place where I came from, where, there was like maybe 20 miles apart, the towns, the small towns.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I came to the gym, daily stories about Günther, about his, beginnings and all of that. So he kind of impacted me a little bit, of course, when I was, building up my career. Yes. Yeah. And then I had the opportunity to meet him first time in 2004 in LA at the Firehouse. And, we had a good conversation. It was right at the time when, he beat Ronnie Coleman, at the, I think GNC show, something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Günther was taller than me, or he's still taller than me. And, but, I mean, he's from the same area. And, there was always kind of, a huge honor to kind of, pass through, all the times and kind of beat his records all the time, So, because if you hear stories, when Günther came to the show, like he was still a junior competitor and he was beating everyone. So at the weigh-ins, everybody knew, damn, it's, it's game over. So all the stories kind of, make you feel, man, that was completely different time. But now, if you look back then when I was competing and compare it to now, that's another world.
Yeah. What was give us some insight into how you started competing and realizing you were really good. Realizing you had more than most of the other guys and you were going to maybe go farther. Can you give us some insight into your mindset as you learned, I got it?
Yeah. Well, I think it has a lot to do with your mentality. But if you don't know where you're at, you cannot build out your mentality or your view on certain things, like competing. So if you're not there yet, so you're just started building muscles, and then if you realize, oh man, a lot of older guys who've been training in the gym for years and years, maybe decades, start talking to you and you're planning to compete and things like that. So that's where I realized, man, that's probably something right what I do, because if the good looking guys in the gym, I'm talking about good looking guys is like muscular bodybuilding, bodybuilder physiques, right? So they come up to you and talk to you like that, then you start thinking that was the first thing. And then of course the first show, I wasn't, I didn't want anything, but a year after I came so strong that, the most people didn't recognize me, doing the way in, or, even before we got up on stage. So they didn't remember me from the exactly year ago. Last year was the same time, it was November, 99. And then a year later, November 2000. So I went on stage, and later when I went down after the pre-judging, I felt like a superstar. Everybody came up to me and like, man, you're Dennis from last year, So I made so many improvements that people kind of didn't know, I was competing last year here. And, So, and after that, I went to the German championships, finished fourth, in a very, very strong lineup. And after that, I started thinking about, maybe building it out a little bit and, going full in, turning pro maybe one day. So, but the good thing is, during my off season, after just my first show, I started getting, guest appearances from the gyms, so I was making money on the weekends, doing some posings at the gyms, and that's where I kind of start understanding, man, it works, so why not?
That's awesome.
What was your first visit to the States, and what was that like as a bodybuilder?
The first visit was 2003. There was a time when I was competing at another federation, just I think 2 shows, and there was a show in South France, and I met a guy from United States. He was a judge and also a reverend. So he invited me and my wife. No, actually, he invited me. So I went there for a guest appearance at his show in Philadelphia. Very, very small show. At the time, I met Sean Roden. He was invited. And Prince, he was famous at the amateur events all the time. He was guest posing a lot. Prince, I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. But then, I was guest posing. And after that, I asked Reverend Dr. Richard Brown if he could marry me and my wife. So, and he said, yeah, why not? Of course I can do it. So then my wife came to Philadelphia. We had trouble to get the license to get married in Philadelphia because we were sitting in the city hall or someplace, I don't know, to get this license. And the thing was, I couldn't translate for my wife, but my wife couldn't understand English. So we tried to get it because, they were afraid that I will force her into the marriage, whatever, so that's the rule, so we couldn't get the license in Philadelphia. So, and after a couple of days, Dr. Reverend Richard Brown, he called some friends in Delaware, and they told me, hey, that's no problem here. So we went to Delaware and, got the license and got married in Philadelphia. That was my first visit to the United States in 2004. 2003.
So it wasn't even Los Angeles.
No. I mean, most people from Germany getting married in Las Vegas or so,
Yeah.
but we got married in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Oh man. So when did you really realize like I could win the big shows? Like an Arnold Classic is possible for me. But when did that really become a belief that you had?
I think after, the famous 2007 top 5 finisher, my second Olympia. After that, the plan was to come to 2007 Mr. Olympia and to make the top 10 because the year prior I was out of the top 15. I was a little bit pissed, but I was already in my mind heading to the Olympia 2006 because I knew, at that time, back then it was normal. So I knew I will be, probably just doing my thing, but, I don't get the chance or not, don't get the comparison, I deserve. So that was my thinking already because, I'm from abroad. I'm not American. That was back then. I mean, you guys probably remember it was always a big team. People from abroad thought that's very, very hard to get into it. But well, if you put your mind into it and work, you can make it, of course. But anyways, 2007 when the crowd went nuts, and then how I looked and how everything just went through the whole weekend, I didn't get the comparisons. Probably I should get, but I get the important comparisons so the people and judges understood like, oh, where I'm at, and I was just 28 years old, so that was the beginning. So, and then I thought after finishing so strong at the Olympia in 2007, I thought, man, the world is open, man. I really thought, man, I can do a lot of wins. But like I said, then I started kind of switching out a little bit with working with another trainers and blah blah, and it just it was like 3 years. I was kind of not improving, so I could probably be at the peak already, and coming to the top. So it like when I look back on that, it was wasted time. Yeah.
That was no more gurus, right?
Exactly. So after 2010, after probably fourth coach or third, I said, no way, fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just, I know what what I did before. I know my body. I feel everything. I know what to do. I know how the body reacts when I do this, when I do that. And so I was just training my body and training my senses, kind of to react on time, not too late, not too early. So, and it took me also a while to realize how everything works exactly, with my body, or better to say how my body works with, all of the things I do, So yeah, it was a tough time, but experience is better than anything else. You know what's up, and that my experience. I use my experience now in order to prepare my athletes and all that. So it's good right now. Back then, there was waste of time, money. I mean, if you're not finishing in the top 3 or top 5 at the Olympia, you're not getting a good big check, right? So if you're out of top 7 or 6, you're around 10 grand, but in the top 5, you're like 30, 40, 50,000. This is what extra goes in your pocket, I mean, we all had a sponsor, contracts and all of that back in the days. There was a completely different story in that. But everything what you won or did, like extra, like guest appearances, that was all good, right? So you're kind of lost some money experimenting, coming in a good condition or not, all of that. It's a lot of time and money. So
What made
think?
you decide to what made you decide to have a prep coach after your top 5 finish at the Olympia that year? Why did you decide to give that a go?
I was working with Milos, and somehow, I don't know what happened. We kind of didn't communicate anymore that often. And, and I went to the diet doc, Chad Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dennis James was working with him. And, I wanted to try out, if you're young and in the beginning of your career, I think some coaches do know more, or can do a lot different things. But end of the day, it's mostly all the same. It depends on peaking or not peaking. So that was my issue at the end. I was not peaking, or I was peaking and then losing it during the comparisons, or I was looking a lot better like 2 days out, and then on the day of the show, I was like 20-30% worse compared to what I looked 2 days prior. So, and that was also like what made me think like, no, I mean, I had so many coaches already, and I just do it by myself, and then I can blame myself, that's it, if something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think was your very best look? Like what pictures do you look at and you think, God damn, I looked good?
All of them.
Yeah.
Everything from 2005 onward.
I would say in my pro career, 2007, like, oh, I did 4 shows, all of them, not 3 shows, all of them. I looked amazing. I think, like winning the Keystone Pro, I looked so crazy good. Or finishing or placing third at the New York Pro before that. That was Branch and Dennis James, first and second. That was a tough show, and we all looked amazing. And I think, like, yeah, like I will honestly say the whole year 2007, I like that. And of course, 2013 when I was placed third at the Olympia, and many people didn't see the pictures from 2012. I did a mistake. In the preparation and when I was speaking the last 2 days, I decreased my salt intake so low, drastically. It was so low that I lost so much volume in my muscle. And it took me, I had no chance to fill it out, again, that short amount of time before the pre-judging, so that's why 2012 was probably one of my worst years. But honestly, if I will just do what I did like the whole week, I'll be much better, in a much better condition, and we brought a better package on stage than 2013. So that was the mistake I was talking about. If you do everything by yourself, you're experimenting. And I don't know why, but most of the bodybuilders, I was talking to a lot of friends back then, you start not thinking clear if you're so close, to the show, because, all the low carb stuff, I think your brain is just, start messing with you, you think then, oh man, I need to do something different to, get that last, condition in, so, and then I decided to do a check with Dennis James, like 5 weeks out, 3 weeks out, or 2 weeks out, just to have someone who can tell me, look, everything is on point, do whatever you do, or man, you need to hurry or whatever, so that's what I start doing. And that helped me a lot, because when somebody like Dennis gave me that, advices, you feel better, because he is more experienced guy. I mean, he's 10 years old. He's competing 10 years longer than I do, So, and then you calm, you're good, So you're just doing your thing. So yeah, like I said, your head messing with you when you're close to the show, So yeah, that was the mistake. But like I said, 2007 and 13, my best looks.
Nice.
Who were some of the guys? I mean, the era that you competed in was such a fantastic era. You had all the J years. I mean, you still had Victor was still there, and just such a great group of guys. You had Kai Green coming up, and Phil Heath joining the ranks, and like just a crazy time for bodybuilding. What were some of the physiques that you looked at and thought, fuck, that's an amazing bodybuilder? Who impressed Dennis Wolf? Because you were like the biggest guy, like you were like the widest guy with the biggest legs and all that stuff. But who did you look around at and think, damn?
Thank you. Look, in the beginning when I just turned pro, and it was I don't remember. I think it was Ironman 2008. I was watching it live, and so Phil Heath. I mean, there was a lot of waves going, and around his name, and he was on the cover already, but didn't compete it yet. So, and I was watching the live stream, like early morning in Germany, and that look when he won the Ironman, that look was so impressive. You know, I was like, man, I'm probably gonna lose against this guy easily, or you know, I'm not that impressive as he is, because like everything was so full, but striated to the limits, you know, and the density of the muscle, or the separations, all of that, the whole package was just insane. I was looking at that and I was like, oh my god, I was almost kind of, you know, so like having that feeling somebody punched me, you know, and so I need to get up again. So he causes trouble in my head. Honestly, yeah. He was damn good, really good. That year, unbelievably good. Yeah.
We've often said on the show that Phil is the Mr. Olympia that got the least amount of love, you know, and then in hindsight, everyone realizes how unbelievable he was. You know, he was such a dominant champion that, you know, everyone loves to, the kind of, you know, people are, they want the champion to get, you know, oh, I want that guy to get beat, you know, and people cheering for Kai and all that. But looking back on it, we've all talked about how, like, no one was beating him. People thought someone was going to beat him, and like, no.
Honestly, man, you have a physique which is developed completely, so there was nothing to, you know, to grow or has to grow or to work on that. It was complete, you know. I mean, we're not talking about structure, bone structure or whatever, but his physique was complete. And, you know, and I think that was my, what I was missing, you know. I couldn't complete my physique to 100% how I wanted. You know, so 2015 was my last year. And then, you know, since 2016, it was like, you know, kind of like
right.
that, you know, healing, doing the comeback and all of that. Yeah.
So, you know, we know, like, your neck, your C-spine basically kind of collapsed on you, didn't it? The discs went in your neck.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah, and you had that all fused. Yeah, you had your neck fused, right?
Right, correct.
How do you feel now? Your body's functional and you can work out and do everything you want to do?
Basically, yes, yeah. But sometimes, you know, I need to be careful with weight loading or loading my neck with the weight. You know, so doing dips, free dips. It's very, very dangerous. You know, I need to be warm or do the first couple or set with a band or so. You know, things like that. So I work around my neck. So I try not to put a lot of pressure on the neck. Whatever I do, you know, whatever training I do a different style. But that's the only thing. But anything else, I train pretty good. I mean, without any issues. Yeah, but you know, the calves won't grow anymore. You know, but I like the physique right now I have. So you know, I enjoy my training, and I enjoy it even more when I have like athletes training at my gym, outdoors here in my backyard. And I feel it, so that motivates me. So and that makes me gonna stay on a schedule. You know, I don't train like 6 times a week or so. I train like 3-4 times. Depends, you know, how many clients I did the week, or you know how tired I am. Yeah, and so on. Basically, just staying fit.
So you're super. I've told you this before. Every time I see you, Dennis, I tell you look like $1 million because you're walking around you're walking around shredded.
Yeah, he's always in great shape.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Some
always
people get
peeled. Like
jealous.
when you
You know,
were,
they still
yeah.
ask me like, "Oh, do you train?" And I'm like, "No."
What's the
I always say like in a plane, like, "Oh man, do you work out?" It's like, not anymore, you know.
yeah, people have a hard time wrapping their brain around that because you look so
Yeah.
good that they think you must be in the peak of your working out, you know? What
Yeah.
what are some of the benefits? What are some of the pluses? Like, you know, I retired from competing, you know, years ago too, and you got to try to find the positives in like being lighter and all that stuff. So what are some of the things that you like about, you know, how much do you weigh? You're like 215, right?
No, I'm around weight. I think I
225?
think
What would you weigh? I thought you
I'm
told me you
around
were 220 or
200
something.
pounds, 200, 200.
No
Oh,
kidding.
okay. Okay. So what are
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
the things
200.
now? Do you ever look back and think, man, I can't imagine being 300 pounds again?
Look, first of all, the well-being. So anything you do with like, you know, just going somewhere, like sweating, breathing, sleeping, it's all
All of it.
different, you know. Yeah, yeah. Or I can say like, hey, if I miss a meal or two, I don't care, you know. Back then, I will kill somebody, you know, because I was in rage. I was hungry, you know. So things like this, and you know, from the um, healthy standpoint, like no pressure on nothing. So I sleep well. I even try to sleep on my stomach now, but still have issues with that because I have like a lot of back pain from that, you know, kind of putting my spine like that, you know. So
Yeah.
because I'm not used to it, I always was sleeping on my back or on the side, but on the side is like, you know, having another three pillows around, you know, to kind of make it comfortable, so you're not squeezing up your blood in your arm or whatever. You know, you guys know that you all been, you
Oh,
know, I mean,
yeah.
Dusty is still big, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
still train like crazy. I see all this the posts you do. Yeah, basically healthier lifestyle, and you know, I can go for a hike without dying after that or during the hike. You know, actually doing what I like to do and what I could do back then. You know, yeah, more uh, incorporating normal life. You know, in my schedule. You know, so
What
yeah,
was the
it
heaviest
was
you
good.
ever got? What was the
Oh,
heaviest
I
body
think
weight?
315, 320. So it's 140 and 3 kilograms. Yeah, should be
And you're
315, something like that.
but you never
And you
really
have bird
got fat,
bones
did you?
also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never was really.
Oh, we lost it.
Oh,
Oh,
lost your sound for a second there,
You
Dennis.
lost your sound.
We lost your
Yeah,
sound for a second
Oh,
there.
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I think
There we
I
go.
am.
Oh, okay.
Or,
That's cool.
We'll make it work.
That's all right.
yeah, I think I am.
We'll make it work.
Yeah. So, you know, I never had this belly or whatever, or you know, was fat hanging around or something like that. Never, never. But I was making sure I get heavy as heavy as possible when I was young. When I you know, turned like 32, 33, then I knew. I mean, there's no point to get heavier because you know I was still, you know, carrying you know, enormous amount of mass, and I was staying around 300 all the time during the off season because soon when I was starting doing like 2 seasons, spring and fall, you know, then you have always short off seasons. So I didn't need to get too heavy, but I got heavy back to my off season weight, like 300 pounds, and then back, you know, to my on stage weight. It was always around 265 to 270. So a lot of people think I was always around 280 or so, but because I look like that. But no, the heaviest I was 275, and only once when I won my Arnold Classic title in Europe. So because I was doing something new, and I loaded that crazy, and then it worked pretty good. So I won that, and I looked insanely on stage. So that was the heaviest one, but the lightest was always like around 265, 268. Yeah.
What were the training principles that you focused on? To, you got people, on one end of the spectrum, you got like the Dorian style training. And then on the other end, you got like the 3-hour workouts with lots of sets. What was your style, Dennis?
My style was mostly high volume. So I love to get as much blood in the muscle as possible. When I remember when I finished last or out of top 15 in 2009 Mr. Olympia, I I changed everything. I almost changed my lifestyle. What I had prior. I stopped smoking and start training differently. So that was a year of training. I was doing Dorian Yates style because I had a trainer with me. So that's why it worked. Because by yourself you're not getting to the limits. With that style. So and I did that. That worked really good. But then I didn't work with the trainer anymore, and I went back to high volume. And almost my whole career was high volume. Of course, all of that extra, like going to Arizona, training with Dennis, with crazy drop sets and supersets, all of that. I tried to make some changes sometimes, just to bring something new, to feel something different. That's it. But mostly all of that was high volume. Yeah.
You mentioned that you quit smoking in 09.
So
that's
still smoking.
So that's something that we always
Marcus too.
Yeah. So I remember all of us watching Marcus Rule's video in like the late 90s or whatever, and he pulls out the Marlboros and he's smoking the Marlboros. And I remember going to the Olympia in 02.
Grocery stores and went out on the parking lot.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember in 2002, I went to my first Olympia. And I was outside the hotel, and Marcus Rule was standing out there in his massive jean jacket, that denim jacket that he used to wear, that massive custom denim. Yeah. And he was standing outside smoking. And I remember just as a young bodybuilder, I was like, oh, like he's smoking cigarettes. And then my friend said, well, yeah, he's German. They all smoke.
Europeans are different, yeah. If you grow up like this and then you go into the sports, it's tough, man. Tough to stop smoking, and went out of control. Also, it was kind of good that I, decided to change everything in my life. I was ending up smoking like 1.5 packs a day. And, even getting up in the night, taking a dump, I was, lighting up a cigarette, middle of the night, just, that was scary for me then. And it's like, no, man, that need to stop, So, and then it took me like 2-3 weeks, and I had no, I didn't miss that anymore. The first week was good because I was motivated. The second week was worst ever. I was like, oh man, And then after 3 weeks, it was gone, man. I was so happy that I did that decision. I made this decision. Sorry, crazy. People was, even when I was like touring like Australia, you need that, right? So you need a smoke, right? So in between you go somewhere so nobody sees you and you start smoking the cigarette, and then fans come by and they're like, oh, Dennis, hey, hi, can I take a picture with you? And then I felt like, man, that's not good. And then also you don't smell it, but people smell you.
For
People
sure.
smell that you're smoking, you know, you're smoke, you smell like a ashtray, you know. You
Yeah.
yourself, you don't realize that, right?
How do
So
you feel about smoking now, like smokers? Because I know when I quit, I took an attitude of like I really started to hate the smell of smoke, and I started almost having like an attitude toward people that still did smoke.
I would say the first 5 to 6 years, man, I couldn't have it around me.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't, you know, not just because maybe it makes me weak or whatever. No, I was almost throwing up from that
Yes.
smell.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but
Mm-hmm.
now I'm over it. I don't care. You know, people can smoke. You know, it doesn't bother me anymore that much. But right after, you know, I mean, you probably remember that new senses you get after you
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
smoking. You smell different or more things. Like everything, you kind of feel like you're in a new world. So many new smells, so many new feelings. So the beginning, you know, being a non-smoker was extremely fascinating, I would say, because you know you've been smoking for years, and then you know feeling that it's unbelievable.
What about? I got one more question on that. What about dieting? Because I know nicotine is an appetite suppressant, and if you're not eating, it's like that's something you can still put in your system. You can still smoke a cigarette. What about the next year when you started dieting and you didn't have that crutch, to kind of keep you from dealing with the hunger, if you remember it?
I don't really remember that, but look, I was glad not having that much hunger during the diet
Mm.
because I knew if the body needs that, it comes back. And so when I was starting the diet, I never was, having like huge appetite. So I couldn't finish my meals like the first 2 weeks.
Ah,
So and then it comes back, and you start like having this crazy appetite, you know. So, but I was anyways glad, not eating much. So because during my diet, my prep, like the last 6 weeks, I was going up to 6 meals a day. So there was no time to feel hunger, So I was more or less kind of not, or I was glad not or no, sorry guys, I was not feeling that hunger
yeah,
because I was like having like every 2 hours my meal, so it was uh, like not a tasty meal, so it's a dry, just the
yeah,
last 3 4 no the last 3 4 meals there was no carbs. So and if you eat like dry chicken without carbs or fish, it's just annoying, but you have to eat. So there was no issue with the hunger,
I hear
but
you're not a big eater. I heard like a year ago or so you're like eating like you at least a year ago you're like I'm eating like 3 meals a day now. I'm glad I don't have to do all that anymore.
now I'm eating 4 meals, but
Okay.
two meals are with steak and fish, and the other 2 meals I just do pancakes or something else. So I'm still kind of on a two basic normal meals, so I get all my nutrients, and then the other meals I kind of experiment, whatever I like at that time, or sometimes I like to do pancakes right after my workout, at 9 p.m. So that's it depends, So I'm more free, like I'm not uh, going crazy or not making myself crazy about missing a meal or not eating like a meat meal or something like that. So it's all over it with all of that. Back in the days, if you will give me something without meat, except that's breakfast or the last meal,
Mm-hmm.
no way. I don't eat. I mean, like I will not. Why eat just carbs without meat? it doesn't make any sense, So because people are, like normal people, they don't understand what is protein, what is fat, what is carbs, so they just eat some fatty meal. There's no fat. There's only fat and carbs, but no protein. So those
Yeah.
things are normal. But for me, every meal there has to be some type of protein, chicken, rice,
Yeah.
chicken, a steak or fish. So that was back then, but now I don't really care. I just take care of my protein, so I have also energy for my workouts. So also, the carb intake is not that high too. So, like I said, just to
When
get some energy.
Yeah.
when you were at your biggest, like say off season, how much food were you taking in that was like, a little bit dirty? Like how much pizza was Dennis Wolf eating? How often would you go to a restaurant and have a big feast, in the off season?
In the off season, I would say every Sunday. Anyways, I kept doing that the same as in my prep. So my prep was Sunday cheat day. So I didn't do cheat meals. I did cheat days. So and in the off season, basically, yeah, the whole Sunday, and then maybe if we are out or so, then of course I will eat something different. But I'm a clean eater still. I can't even eat something with sauce or Sometimes I'm sitting like in a restaurant and see people eating, putting sauce like over the piece of steak or something or meat. It's like for me too much. Even now I couldn't do that. I couldn't eat. So my meals are more dry than like flooding them with sauce and ketchup and things like that.
Right. I've got a bunch of questions here from fans. I think Dusty has a few too, but we can alternate.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one from actually my friend Todd, who you probably remember. He filmed you in 2012 for Muscular Development, and he actually told me a story that he came out to your house in Vegas at the time, and he had his kids with him when he was there to film Dennis. So they're filming, and next thing you know, Dennis's wife has got the kids on the couch eating ice cream sandwiches while Dennis is in prep for the Olympia, watching TV while they're filming. And then Todd's got an insane memory. He actually texted me. He's like, "That's when he had the Dodge Challenger 392 Hemi." And I guess you drove him to the gym that day, hauling ass to Las Vegas Athletic Club. Nice. He still tells me about that stuff, and I've seen some pictures and stuff of the kids over there, and it's cool to see. I think a lot of people don't. I mean, we're kind of blessed to be on the inside, but I don't think people realize that you could be in prep for the Olympia, be that locked in, and you had the ability to still have some fun and enjoy things outside of just prep, like your cars. And like I said, I was just more impressed that you had ice cream sandwiches in the house, but that was apparently for Sunday.
Hey, Tom, greetings to you and to the family, of course. And look, I've always been like this because my wife and my daughter been always eating whatever they wanted, around me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just your mindset. If you want to do what you do, I mean, there's nobody who could distract me. I was right. I was straight on. I mean, the whole career. There's not like any memory I have that I would say, "Oh, can you go away with the pizza or whatever?" So we will have a dinner. I would have my meal, and they would have like whatever. Sometimes pizza, sometimes something even better with homemade, which is really fatty and salty and all that. I will never say anything because that's my problem, my job, my wish to do that, right? So, and that's how I look on my career because without my mentality, I will never make it. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but hey, That's true. I remember that. The family was in, and my wife like giving only ice cream sandwiches. Yeah, and we were driving with that Hemi. I had it for 3 years or so. Yeah, we
Right.
were filming with Todd. Yes,
Yeah.
great guy. Great. Yeah.
When did you move to Vegas?
We moved to Vegas in 2010, so it's been a
What
while here.
what's
Yeah.
yeah, what's your favorite thing about Vegas, and what do you tell your friends and family back in Germany about, what it's like to live in Vegas?
Uh, Man, there are so many TV shows, streaming from Las Vegas in Germany. I think they know more about Vegas than I do. No, but uh, most of
They
the
probably
people,
think you hang out on the strip.
yeah. Hey, just 1 second. I just remember that I was at the Arnold Expo, and one young lady came up to me. She was around 18, 19, and American, and she asked me honestly, do people really live in Vegas? Like, I'm like, I didn't know what to say. Like, yes, there are people living in Vegas. Look, many people think Las Vegas is just like a city for tourism, and there's only a strip, right? So that's you go there just to celebrate or make a party, right? But we are mega city. We are almost at 3 million population, so it's crazy. But what I love about Vegas, we have almost everything around Vegas, around town. So we have mountains, we have a lake. I mean, it's drying out right now, but it's been drying out for years, and nobody, give a damn about it. So, and you can do things during the winter. We have a ski resort, not a ski resort, but ski um, place where you can do that. I mean, every weekend when it's always snow at the mountains, and the weekend is packed, man. So this is Vegas. You will never think that's in a desert. So we have so much close by here. I mean, 2 hours away is a Lake Havasu. Like everything is close. So Las Vegas. If you're in the United States, doing during a vacation, Las Vegas is a place to be. At least for a couple of days, just to check it out. Because not talking about Strip. I mean, there's so many attractions and all of that, but just to see how the city is built. So you're mostly driving always around the city, or straight through the city, but you see the whole city while you drive. So, and this is for Europeans, especially Germans. Great to see, because when I like to drive a long drives, right? Like a couple of hours, and here is more comfortable. You see more. You see the whole city driving like here, but not in East Coast, of course. But in Germany, it's all like you're on the autobahn, but it's you don't see much. You sometimes, oh, there's a castle, right? Oh, there's a castle, but that's it, right? Yeah, but here you kind of see like far, far, far away, and
Yeah.
that's what I like. And also for the Germans, it's that's what they started talking about freedom. Big country. So that's what makes, like, in overall, not just Vegas, like America, so interesting for the Germans and Europeans. Yeah,
Huh.
but Vegas is like it. The whole city turned into our sports city or athletes city. So we have so many athletes here. It starts with MMA, and all bodybuilders moved here. Nobody's in LA anymore, or Venice. So it happened a lot in the last like 12 years when I came here. Like I remember driving to the Gold's Gym, like all highway or freeway were empty. Right now, the same highways and freeways you know, you're in the traffic, you're standing in the traffic, you know, or in the morning or
Yeah.
in the evening. So can you imagine just 12 years what happened here in Vegas? So the Vegas is growing so fast, it's insane. It's insane. I never seen city like this, you know, building out like that quick. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Have you gone to an NFL game yet?
No, but hockey.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
boy.
awesome. There we
I,
go.
I like that.
You got you got
Yeah.
a hockey player and a Canadian here, so you
Yeah, but
like that.
you asked me about the NFL. As a Canadian, it's
Yeah, I
it's
just
cool.
thought maybe I thought maybe with the Raiders in town, you know. What's that's cool.
Actually,
That's cool.
no, just for fun, I would love to see a game, but I'm not a fan. I don't understand that, and it's like for me as an athlete, like having so many breaks during the game is not healthy for your for everything. I mean, you warm up and you cold, you warm up, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold. I mean, and then you the injuries happen on the clock, you know. So it's great. That's why I don't like it. Yeah, if you're in a game, you just play, right? So, but it's like
Yeah.
Well,
1 minute and then like 5 minutes or 3 minutes break. So you cannot stay or you cannot keep your you know, like ankles, everything warm. So yeah, the injury risk is high. So, but hockey is like man sport. I love that. You know,
there we
they
go.
start,
I'm just
one,
loving this. I'm loving this.
yeah, things like that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, yeah. But it's also been a while when I was, you know, when I went last time. I think a year or so, or almost two. But before that, I went with my friend very, very often because he got the tickets, good prices. Yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, in Vegas, it's everything. So every weekend UFC, you know, everything. So it's the town to be. You know. Yeah, but hey, the
What
prices are going up. Yeah, it's crazy right now. Anyways, so
I
you're
know you've
spending
got
more
that.
money. Excuse me.
Yes, I know you've got that awesome gym in your backyard.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
you hooked up with Ijbb, right? And they hooked you up in the backyard there.
That's so cool.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How
Hey,
often?
amazing, amazing equipment.
Yeah, Jim 80's. I remember going to Europe for the first time and seeing all like the old Jim 80 stuff from the 80s in some of the gyms and thinking, oh, this stuff's super heavy duty. Like this is
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
really good equipment. And then now they've got all the new stuff out. Yeah. So how often do you train in your backyard versus maybe going to like a gym to work out?
Haven't been in a gym for months. Really. Basically, since I got my equipment from Gym 80 and we are, you know, put it all together back, in my backyard. I only went to the gym when it was too windy outside, too cold, like during the winter a couple times, and now when it's too hot. So basically, I train either in the morning outside. That's the perfect time from 5 to 9. It's just great, or after 7 p.m. But
Right.
you know, if it gets too hot, then we go to the gym, of course. Yeah, yeah, because you know it's just you also you want to enjoy your workout, but
Yeah.
not and man, it's too hot, so you don't want to do it, right? So yeah, I'm making sure that it's enjoyable also for me and my training partner. Yeah.
Who's your favorite active bodybuilder? Currently, you know, one of the top guys. Who do you really think is awesome? Or just favorite personality too?
I mean, most of them are my buddies, so but yeah, I mean, I'll say, of course, Bonek William. He's a great guy. You know, I still support him because I remember when I got hurt and couldn't compete at the 2016 Olympia. Him and Rami, yeah, they you know, sent me some love during the press conference, and yeah, um, William, Rami. I mean, there's so many, but those two guys are, of course, in my heart. And my other favorite bodybuilder, which physique I like, and who, you know, could have done more damage, of course, like in the last couple of Olympias, is Hadi Chupan. He is
Yeah.
impressive guy. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but the rest, man, I mean, the younger guys like Ian Vayer, the Canadian guys, you know, Antoine just won the show. Yeah, I like them
Yes.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Comeback king.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
for him. After, you know, he went through. Yeah, yeah. But hey, he did by himself. You know, he pushed himself through it. You know, went to, you know, he needed to do a couple things. So, and yeah, now you see the goal is reached. You know, he is at you know, at his yeah, he won the show. I mean, that was his goal. So it's I'm just glad and happy to for him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember he was competing, man, at the Arnold Amateur like in 2012, and you know, so yeah,
Mhm.
he's been around. He's been around for a long time. Yeah, and that's why it makes me happy to see him winning the show. Yeah.
I remember it was maybe a couple years ago. It was at the Olympia, and it was at the Meet the Olympians, and I saw you walking around. You know, great shape, obviously downsized at this point, and I looked at you and I distinctively had this moment of feeling old because I was like, I feel like just last year, it was just last year, wasn't it? That he was the guy that everybody was coming here to meet. And now you're like, you were downsized, you're walking around, you're doing your thing. You're still really plugged in with the sport. But it made me feel like things move so fast in bodybuilding. And I had been curious. It's a question I was actually thinking of even back then. What do you think about this? Just like, you know, and I know Ron asked like, who are your favorite guys, but just bodybuilding as a sport in general today compared to what feels like yesterday, but apparently was a long time ago now. You know, 5 years ago.
Well, hey, I agree totally. Time flies, and
Yeah.
you know, like what is a year, right? A year goes so fast.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, well, it's bodybuilding has changed a lot. That we all can agree on that, right? So, like back
For
in the
sure.
days, and now
Yeah.
we have more shows, we have more pros.
Mm.
You know, that like every second guy on Instagram and lady or girl are pros too. So yeah, I mean, the sport has grown like huge numbers on members and competitors. I mean, all of the new classes, you know, which started like 10 years ago, they're doing better than bodybuilding right now. So from the like social media, or you know, being famous, that's
Mhm.
standpoint, right?
For sure.
But but we definitely need to do something to yeah, to fix that, to bring more more interest yeah, in people to yeah, to bodybuild, right? I mean, we probably had nothing to compare back in the days, but today, if a guy is young and building out his physique, you know, and his frame, and he looks amazing, and he is competing as a classic physique athlete, right? So why should he go further, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think that's the issue right now. So why should they? You know, why should I get bigger and you know, look maybe for normal people, just you know, in order to make money or in order to get girls, whatever. I mean, whatever you may think, to you know, to get into this line and invest more time, because it's all time. So if you already build out your physique, you look great, you're winning shows, you turn maybe pro, classic physique. So it might happen over the years, like in 10 years, because your body is growing, you're improving and, developing.
Yeah.
You kind of went over it, and then you make this decision. Do I need more, or can I get heavier? But it's time. So it's not like back in the days. There was a goal, open bodybuilding. You're heavy, so that's where you go. So and then you're go from there. But today it's a whole different story. That's like I said, it's more comfortable. It's less time spent or invested in the sport where you already can compete. So when I won my world championship world title, right, I was looking like a classic physique guy right now. So look, and then from then I went up like 30 pounds or 40 pounds up, and then I was competing as a professional. So those things are just, yeah, two different things, I would say, because,
Yeah.
like, like I said, if you're young, it's a different mindset, and they young people who are now competing as a pros, they're making more money, or they have their opportunity to make more money to sell their product. That's their physique, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's all different. It changed big time back then. If you were successful, but already successful, right? So you invested already like 10, 15 years of your life. Then you get maybe a, great contract, and yeah, that's it, right? So and then you kind of live from that, and doing your appearances, doing your things. But now it's just they wake up in the morning, they already selling everything, from first minute. So and that's why probably that's gonna be very, very difficult to bring that back. How it was. In bodybuilding back then, so more people wanted to be bodybuilders. It's not happening right now.
It's crazy how fast that changed. I will say, I feel like as a fan of what I will call like the true bodybuilding, like that is to me, it's people who are willing to push their physique to see what am I capable of. And there's no question, man, you were one of those people that did that. And I think you inspired a lot of people to do that. I'm sure that there will always be people that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see.
But it's, human being is made like that. If it's easy, I go for it, as first, so, and why should I push myself when like, and also a big risk too, going to the open class from, like I said, if you're already having a great physique.
Yeah.
So that's a big risk, like destroying your physique or not being that successful as you are right now already, or you're trying to get successful or building out your success, right? So it's back then, there was no question about anything like that. So my job was just push it through, So your job is to gain weight, to build muscle, and bring the package on stage and show just people the improvements. So, and that's how we proceeded, right? Like through the whole career, and then through that, right? So if you bring a better condition, like with great improvements, so then it starts, then that's how we make money back then, all the guest appearances, so many guys reaching out to you or promoters, and you will be like every weekend on the road guest posing, so, and if you were, not looking good, that was over, you know. So I mean, you probably get a couple of bookings, but not every weekend, you know. So that's almost like two different, like not just I don't know how to say it. It's like almost two different worlds. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
In
think
such a short time.
Bring it back or do something that it changes, but it goes the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
That's cool. I appreciate that.
I got a list of lightning round questions for you here, Dennis. We appreciate your time. You've given us over an hour, and I'm just gonna say these words, and you just give me your initial reaction, your first thought off your mind.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Your favorite gym you ever trained at?
Whoa.
That's a tough one.
Tough, man. It's so tough. I can name maybe 5 to 10. You know. But look, I would say Flex Fit Valtro. This is a gym in a hometown, like almost hometown. It's pretty new. I was not training there as an active professional. So, but right now I would say, that's one of the greatest gym I've been to.
Okay, Ronnie Coleman.
Unbelievable and unbeatable.
That's decent. There you go. Unbelievable and barbell squats.
Barbell squats, love them. Not doing them anymore, but love them.
What do you think gave you? I know everyone says, "How the hell did Dennis get that quad sweep?" Do you think that was just how your body is, or do you think that you trained correctly for it?
I think the quads, like training legs, including quads, was the main thing in my whole leg workout. So, as example, I will do like 5 working sets, maybe just 4 plates each side. You know, I will never go higher. You know, so maybe 5 for the video. You know, like when MD was there, but maybe 6 sometimes. But 4 was my like working weight, and I will do like 5 sets, and I could probably stop training because I couldn't walk after that. So the muscle was so full with blood. So and the rest, like other 2-3 exercises, I would just do because I would say, I mean, I don't feel it really good, but there's always still a little bit extra you can get, you know.
Right.
So, but main exercise was squatting. Squats.
I knew you loved your squats. Favorite car?
Right now or from all?
Ever. Favorite car you ever owned? Let's say that.
I can say that I had so many cars, and also now, if you will say pick one, I would say I don't know. I drive a Raptor right now. I love it. I don't want to drive any car right now other than for the Raptor. Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
Favorite music to train to?
And one more thing, I used to have our C63S.
Yeah.
Hey, I would recommend that if you like fast, small, and you can use daily cars. C63S, beast, man.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
and if you have a good build frame, you fit in the seat, and nothing can move you out of it. So it's fun car, yeah. So if you're looking for something like that, I would recommend it.
Okay.
Favorite music to listen?
Yeah, favorite music to train to. Yeah. Back in the day when you were going hard.
Back in the day, look, I was training with my training partner most of the time. we didn't listen to any music.
No kidding.
You know, because
Really? Didn't have music on.
Yeah, we were training LVC. There was, you know, always some music playing, but we were, yeah, just talking a little bit, and that's it. So
Nice.
yeah, right now, metal.
Germans always love the metal. Every German I've ever met loves some metal.
Right? Yeah, I mean, if you train, you need something else. You know, you need to be like, yeah, in a mood.
Dusty, you got any more for Dennis?
Those are the main the main curiosities. I guess the only thing I wanted to add that I had a few people ask was maybe one or two of your greatest memories from bodybuilding that were not the stage, like something that happened in life or on a trip, but some sort of a memory you have that bodybuilding brought you.
The bodybuilding brought me. Man, I met a ton of people. Good people too. Yes, yeah, good people too, and yeah, and I would say the relationships with a lot of people from, you know, from all my experience. My God, when it was guest appearance. Sorry, man. All from all guest appearance or meet and greets or like doing seminars. But I would say all of that was fun. But going to like extremely beautiful cities like St. Petersburg, you know, having people taking me on the tour, or I was invited once in St. Petersburg into to Ben Weider School, Ben Weider Bodybuilding School, or a school of bodybuilding.
Huh.
Yes, I mean, no American probably know about this.
Yeah,
and that was a last seminar for trainers who got their diploma. You know,
Okay,
that was amazing. So, and with that diploma, you could start working in any gym in Russia. You know, so I was honored. It was like 1 day seminar and 1 day training seminar. So, and after that, I had to sign the diploma, and we went on the on the channels. You know, in St. Petersburg are many channels, and also it's like a lot of water. It's like it was made after Venice in Italy. So you know that was kind of built like that, kind of to adopt to that in the, you know. And we went on the ship with all of the group, the president of the Russian Federation, like a lot of pros. You remember Alexander Fedorov or Fedorov?
Oh yeah,
was a huge guy. Yeah. He was on board, and we were celebrating like half a day. You know, that was beautiful. Like things like this. That's where I say, man, so many things I will never probably see or experience without being bodybuilder or professional bodybuilder. And I'm really thankful to, you know, having all of these experiences and living my life and meeting so many good people, also bad people, but overall good people.
The right kind of bad people, though.
Very successful people, really, sometimes we're really adventurous too, you know. So, but in between, I can say that in between when I think, after 2013, after 2012. Off season, in season after the shows, I went to Central America, and I lost already like 20 pounds because I was off, you know, and people were still looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing here, you know? just normal people walking, you know, between the pyramids and all that. So, and that's where I had amazing time too, and people kind of figure out who I was, and they were waiting for me, you know, when I came. You know, we were a huge group, right? So I was the last guy who came. All of them came from Europe to Mexico, and I came from Las Vegas. So they were waiting for me, like. And then I walked in, and like, you saw the looks, like, oh my god. And I, you know, like if you do bodybuilding and you're out, you know, you're clean, you know, you're off, and you lost like 20 pounds, you feel like you look like shit, like tiny.
Yeah,
and they were like,
Yeah.
what was that? So, and also I got so also I got to meet like professors, doctors, you know, people like that. So, and all this conversation every evening, we had like conversation with you know, different people and teams, and that's also an experience what I will never forget. You know, that brought me gave me a lot thinking. You know, and yeah, it's just exciting, and also like learning people's history too. So I met a guy in Guantanamo. No, not, oh my God. Guantanamo. I was
Guatemala.
I was
If you're in Guantanamo, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Guatemala was good too, yeah. Guatemala was a German guy. He was living there for 30 years, like off grid.
Oh yeah.
And he was asking me questions, you know, about bodybuilding, and then I was asking him, like, you know, what he's doing here, why he came here, and that was a crazy story, you know. But yeah, anyways, it was so interesting, and that's why, you know, I would say because of bodybuilding, I was in many countries. I came around, you know. So, and like I said, been to many countries, met so many people, and yeah. But hey, I still want to see some other countries like Thailand. I never been to Thailand, and Africa. I never been to Africa. Yeah, so.
Well, Dennis, I'd love to see you again here in Vancouver. Hopefully you have another awesome athlete do the Van Pro one of these days. Maybe next year you'll be back. It was great to have you at our gym.
We'll appreciate that, you know, the time when we train at your gym, and hope the gym is doing good. So,
yeah. Look forward to having you back, Dennis.
Thank you, sir.
Remember, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
There you go. Thank you very much, Dennis Wolf. We appreciate you being on It's Just Bodybuilding. You're very generous with your time, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. And that was a blast. Yeah, I'm glad I came on, and thank you, everyone, for having me. Yeah, another great podcast. I did a couple podcasts back in a couple of weeks, but yeah, amazing. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad we had some fun, Dennis.
Me too.
Okay. Thanks, Dennis. Take care in Vegas, buddy.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Okay.
Take care.